Stacy Thompson, and my role at my current organization, WorkHuman, is to lead what we call our content strategy and activation team. And really, I was brought into the organization to build and scale an organic-led content strategy, which is sort of my bread and butter and what I've done for the past 15 plus years of my career. So at my core, I really am a writer. That's what I did my undergraduate and graduate degrees in, but I have done content marketing for a number of years and specifically building content strategies that integrate with SEO strategies. So that's what I was brought into WorkHuman to do, and that's what I've done for the past several organizations where I've worked. So when I finished my graduate degree, which was a Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing, originally I thought that I would write short stories for a living, but as it turns out, that wasn't a terribly lucrative career path. So from there,
I can understand.
From there, I started working for an SEO agency in Boston. And that's where I really learned. I had previously worked in a marketing capacity for a variety of organizations, both big and small. But that's really where I learned how important SEO is to content marketing and how to build content that is specifically geared to rank in search engines for specific keyword targets, as well as drive organic traffic to the site. So as I mentioned, over the past 15 plus years of my career, it's really been about educating companies on what organic can do for them. So organic is, for a lot of organizations, it's sort of this untapped resource. It's an amazing way to drive traffic to the website, and it's free. But you have to be extremely prescriptive about the way that you write content so that search engines associate that content with a particular keyword target, and ultimately people click on that content and drive to your website. From there, it's really about, it's not just about driving people to the website. It's about what happens once you get them there. So it's also about what action do you want a person to take when they land on your website, when they consume a piece of content. It has to be very strategic and goal-oriented in nature. So that's, sort of the first piece is building the right content to get people to the website, and then thinking about what action do we want people to take from there, whether it's filling out a form, downloading a piece of content, registering for an event, whatever that end goal is. You have to know what that end goal is prior to writing the content.
Of course.
You can meet that goal. So I like to think of organic-led content strategy as sort of an art and a science. You can be as creative as you want to be with a piece of content that you're building, but if no one reads it because search engines don't find it and thus people don't find it, is it really worth the effort? So that's how I always think about it. We want to be creating content that is compelling, that is engaging, that's aligned with our personas pain points. What challenges are they trying to solve? What questions do they need to have answered? I mean, if you think about the abundance of content available at anyone's tips, I think there's a stat that's like people will spend less than 7 seconds on a piece of content before they just go back to search results and they scan for something else, whatever it is that they're looking for. So in terms of building an organic content strategy, it really starts with understanding what search results are serving up for a particular keyword target. So obviously, you come in, you do a bunch of keyword research aligned with core content themes. What is it that you uniquely as an organization have to say about a particular topic? And then you look for keyword opportunities and build content around those specific keyword targets. So there are a variety of tools that we help to assist in this process. We use Phrase to identify opportunities. We use a tool called Surfer SEO once a piece is drafted, so we can tell, is this piece aligned with what Google and search engines associate with this keyword target. So we know, instead of, it's sort of taking the guesswork out of it. You never want to use a piece of content and then go back and say, okay, well, we wanted to rank for this keyword target. We're thinking about that before the content is ever written. And then of course it goes back to my earlier point on, all right, it's not just about driving people to the site. We need them to take a specific action once they get there. So that means that, after a person consumes that piece of content, there's a very clear and compelling call to action at the end of the piece, or even in the middle of the piece, that gets it front and center. Register for this event, download this piece of content, whatever it is. It has to be very strategic and goal-oriented in nature. And then, of course, we go back and we do regular performance measurement to understand truly what the impact of our content is. Is it performing the way that we had intended it to? Is it ranking for whatever the keyword target was? Is there an opportunity to optimize it? Should we be doing more or less of the same kind of content depending on how it performs? So all of these inputs are allowing us to iterate on our content development and evolve the strategy as we go, because something that may have worked 6 months ago wouldn't necessarily work. So I think it kind of all ties back to, again, the end goal of the content. Is it a keyword driven piece of content? And then if that's the case, you would want to do a thorough analysis of what type of content appears in search results for that particular term, and develop content that aligns with what's currently ranking in search results for that term, but that you're adding your unique perspective. So it's sort of looking at the search results and determining, does this align, yes or no, but also what value could you provide that isn't currently ranking for that particular target. So that's one piece. But beyond that, there are other elements like, is the piece engaging? Does it have engaging imagery? Is it an interactive piece? It all ties back to that end goal. The other thing that we're exploring more and more at WorkHuman is content development in different formats. So we have a written content strategy. We also have a video content strategy, as well as a podcast strategy. So increasingly, and there are a bunch of stats out there on how people, again, don't want to spend a long time searching for the type of content that they're looking for, but they also don't necessarily want to spend the 5, 10, 15 minutes that it would take to read a piece of written content. So we're sort of applying the same methodology that we do with our written organic-led content strategy to our video content strategy, and building video content around core keyword targets that we want to rank for and we feel we would have the opportunity to rank for in YouTube search. So it really is, I think to answer that question, it would be having a robust understanding of what is currently ranking in search results for that particular keyword target, and then thinking about, what is your unique perspective or your company's unique perspective on that topic? What could you add that isn't already out there? And sometimes, it's a little bit of a guessing game, and you kind of have to almost throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. But that's where, again, the content performance measurement comes into play. And you can think about trying different things, different content formats, thinking about, all right, this format worked for this particular audience, this maybe didn't work, and then just keep iterating as you go. So we do, at WorkHuman, we do regular and ongoing performance measurement. So we measure the impact of our content marketing on both a quarterly and a monthly basis. And we're looking at, what is the performance of the blog year over year over that particular quarter? How many terms are we ranking for in search engines year over year? How much traffic are we driving from our social media channels to our blog, for example? But beyond sort of those vanity metrics, things like page views, bounce rate, rankings in Google, etc., we're also looking at the broader business impact of content performance. So how did a particular blog, for example, lead to someone downloading a piece of content? And did that eventually turn into a lead? Did that turn into a meeting? Did that turn into influenced pipeline? So you really have to tie it back to not only how the content itself performed, but also what impact did it have on the business as a whole. And that's where you can do a lot of education, visibility, and awareness in terms of the impact that content marketing can have. And that's what you use to have conversations with leadership to say, all right, this content strategy is working and it's helping us achieve our business goals, on and on and on from there.